Hey, beautiful people. If you've ever struggled with how to get your copy to be more compelling and connect more deeply with your clientele, your prospects, today I'm going to give you 8 tips, quick tips for being able to build that, if I can say it, momentum into your marketing. The thing about alliteration is sometimes it can get you kind of tangled up. But I love quick tips because I want you to be able to do things rapidly and with some great results. And so, let's take a look at how this will work. We're going to look at your 8 quick tips for building marketing momentum in your copy. So the first thing is I have to be my evangelical self when it comes to copywriting, because I truly believe that copywriting is, without exception, the most valuable marketing skill that you can learn. Now, whether you're going to be a copywriter or just writing for yourself with your own programs. I don't care if you're selling, $5 widgets on an e-commerce site, or you have a $50,000 coaching program and everything in between. That you need to be able to understand how to communicate effectively with your audience. And so that the core of that is the skill of copywriting, because whether you're speaking it or writing it, it's understanding how to weave in. I think of them as invisible threads into everything that you're saying and doing and writing, that connect to people more deeply with persuasion, with just making that connection, for really being real with them, for being able to provide value, and just continue that connecting happens through the words you use. It's all about the words you're using and your intent behind the words. And so using these tips, hopefully very helpful to you, but also just most important of all is your intention. And that, just like I talk about with ChatGPT now, your intention behind your prompts, your intention behind that conversation you're having with your potential marketing buddy of ChatGPT to create exactly what I'm talking about today. This is applicable all across the board. So, and before you need to know why you're doing what you're doing when you have your marketing messaging, as you're speaking to your potential clients and speaking to the people that you work with. Why are you doing it? And why should they care? That's the other really super important part. And I've covered this in some of the other videos that I've presented. So, and here's the thing. Sometimes, especially when you're first starting with marketing, you think, oh, I've got to, make sure everybody gets this. Everybody needs this. And no, that's absolutely not right. It's not correct, because you don't want everybody. You don't want tire kickers and time wasters and whiners and complainers and people that aren't really a good fit for whatever it is that you have. You want to attract your ideal clientele. You attract your ideal client, and you want to repel, actually, like turn off the people that you would prefer not to work with, that aren't a good fit for what you have. And all of this happens through how you construct your messaging. Now, as always, people buy both from their heart and their emotions, right? And so you have to be able to connect with people on both levels. And your prospect needs to be able to justify logically why they're going to make a decision to go with you or buy from you. But they also need to feel something about that. They buy because they feel like it. They're feeling some kind of an emotional response or connection at some level to what you have. And I don't care, like I said, if it's a $5 widget on eBay, or you're selling things for how to bake cakes at high altitude, or whatever it may be. They need to have a good feeling about why they want to work with you. So this is the thing. All of your copy, your messaging should be engaging. You need to focus on the prospect. And I've got this way. Yep, the list is right there for you. It needs to be engaging. It needs to be believable. You want to get rid of hype. And if you've seen my training for 8 ways to empower your copy, that's one of the points there, is that, lose some of those exclamation points, for example, and over-promising or blindsiding them with, it sounds like this thing, but it's really that thing. So engaging, connecting with them, believable, clear. A confused mind doesn't buy. And sometimes we think we have to get very elaborate with our messaging, but just clearly saying what it is. I think it was Jay Abraham that said, sometimes if you want to sell a horse, you just need to say horse for sale, and it doesn't have to be any fancier than that. Conversational. So if you can write like you talk, and this is getting more and more important. If you're using ChatGPT, you need to be able to write prompts like you talk. You need to understand how to have that conversation if you're using that as a part of your business now. And I hope you are, because it's super powerful. But you don't need super long sentences. You want short sentences, short paragraphs. Like if you're posting on LinkedIn, it's, one line, a couple of lines, one line, a couple of lines on your posts. Make it really easy for people to read, and very conversational, and also persuasive. So that's, again, you want to speak both to the logical part of how someone is thinking and the heart, because that's also a huge way that people are making a decision. So let me just move on to the next page. There we go. Sometimes I get the wrong buttons there with all these things that are going at the same time. So let's look at the 8 quick tips, right, for building marketing momentum in your copy. And I'm going to get tangled up on my M's today one way or another. So the first one is make connections and establish solid relationships with both what we would call influencers and evangelists. And what do I mean by that? Just people that are going to spread the word, right? Your emissaries, people, your fans, your raving fans, and that they're going to spread the word by just mentioning you, answering in comments, talking to other people about you. You may not even realize how often that's happening until someone comes back and says, oh, I heard about you, or I've been following you for a couple of years, or I was in a group. Just today, someone reached out to me and said, I'm in a marketing group for women entrepreneurs, and I'd like to suggest you for this particular topic with ChatGPT and building the humanizing aspect of it, and because they're looking for someone to speak about this. So you never know where those emissaries are that are going to help spread the word for you. When they buy into your message, they spread the word for you. It's just that simple. And the second is muster. So remember, 8 M's. So we're mustering a team of, again, this kind of connects to number 1 of super fans. They're attracted to who you are, what you have. They're going to buy from you no matter what you have. They may start at one point and then go to the next, and they may ascend very quickly. I've had people purchase my entry-level copywriting program for maybe $997, $1,000, something like that, that ascended into $8,000 and $10,000 and $20,000 programs from one point to that very, very quickly, because they connected with me in a deep level and they experienced what they would receive from me in coaching and mentoring. So you want to muster that team of fans. They're going to follow you wherever you go. They're going to speak your message, and they will arrive as you start to personalize your messaging and make that deeper connection. The third one is message. What's your message? You want to engage your audience by continuing to deliver great content, show you care, share your expertise. Like my buddy Frank Kern says, help people by showing them, show them you can help them by actually helping them, that kind of a thing. And so what's your message, and being consistent in that? Do you have branding as far as how you present? Is there a certain way that you always show up, or do people never know what they're going to get because it's just all over the place and very random? So have that intention, that reason why your messaging stays aligned and consistent. And it also builds trust. It builds that know, like, and trust factor. Magnetize, our fourth M, is magnetizing your audience with smart strategies. Continue to attract your ideal clients. And see how these all connect. These aren't just standalone kind of tips. It's building a momentum. It really is building kind of a foundation for everything that you're doing. And then maximize the reach of your message by showing up like channels on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, blog posts, might be in certain communities, online groups, that type of thing. But especially a social media platform, maybe you want to just start with one, just choose one and really get it dialed in so that people can find you easily. They know where to find you and how to reach out to you. And that's how you're going to maximize your message. And I might add, in the maximizing could be repurposing some of your messaging will also maximize it. So if you can use it as a post, can it also be a topic for a video? Do you have ideas that then can become emails? How can you maximize your message and your reach? Number 6, monetize. That's why we're in business online, right? We're not all running a giant charity. I mean, we may give to great causes and have charitable things that happen in our business, but obviously we all need to be able to create a living, make a living, and have a career that means something to us. And so monetizing your message by making offers they can't refuse, with quality products, with services aligned with your messaging, and make more of those offers, because if you don't make an offer, no one can take you up on it. And sometimes when people get into marketing, ironically, they don't want to sell. And so when you can reframe what selling is, that selling is actually serving, it's actually providing something that people are looking for and providing a quality answer to something they need or would love to have in their life, then you're going to be able to monetize exactly what you have. And then when you're monetizing, you're going to multiply. Now that we've gotten started, you're actually getting paid to do some of the things that you do, and with your offers, going to multiply the impact of your content and programs by continuing to attract the fans, the super fans, the evangelists, the influencers. These are just regular people, right? I'm not talking about the 5 million people are following someone on Instagram and they're draped on the top of their Maserati or whatever. These are people, just regular people who can become even a small group. Even if you have a small list, maybe you only have a few hundred or 1,000 people on your subscriber list. If they are true fans, if they really appreciate and value what you do, that can still be a great point for being able to monetize what you have, because they're interested. They're actually interested in what you've got. And then finally, did I think we said multiply? Yes. Continue the impact of your programs and see what you can build from what you might already have. What's that logical next step? Now, it doesn't mean you have to build a new program a week or anything like that. Maybe it's services. Maybe it's like I do consulting for corporations and analysis of their copy and training, that type of thing. So that's another way you can multiply your reach, is by expanding the markets that you're talking to. And that gives us number 8, momentum. It's created as you achieve acceleration and altitude and increase your profitability. All of those things are what happen when you start building in these 8 tips for marketing with momentum in your copy. This is why copywriting, I absolutely believe, is the most profitable thing for you to learn, most profitable skill. Doesn't mean you have to be a copywriter, but even if you're going to hire a copywriter, you need to know what you're looking for. You need to know what you're asking for and what you're expecting them to deliver. If you have no idea, you may end up with something that's not very effective for you, because you need to be involved. So don't think this is a completely, I don't even want to know kind of a deal, unless you have a really great marketing manager or something like that. You need to understand, if you just open your mouth in conversation that has to do with your business, if you're doing videos, if you're doing calls, this all builds in. When you think of the core, that invisible core of marketing and persuasion and engagement that needs to come through with everything you're doing in your business, these tips can serve you well in that genre as well. And so that's why I say copywriting is the most profitable asset. And words are the enduring foundation for everything that you do. And the more you do any of these tips or strategies that I'm sharing with you, the easier it'll get, the more natural it'll become. You're training your brain, you're creating new neural pathways of learning new skills and how you're going to implement them. And really the implementation is the important part. Even if you take one tip from today and start implementing it, you don't think you have to have all 8 of the M's in that specific order and say, well, I can't do it because I'm not ready to do all of those things. What if you could just do one? What if you could just show up, right? What if you just took one of the tips and said, I'll implement that one, and then build from there? Start with wherever you're at and build from there. Hope this is helpful to you and gave you some good ideas today. I'm going to be back tomorrow. My times have been a little sporadic because I'm also in other masterminds and coaching programs and doing my own coaching as well. And if I can ever be of assistance to you, I work both individually with people one-on-one. I have multiple programs that I do as group coaching, and I do corporate consulting as well. So don't hesitate to reach out, because I'm here for you. This is Tina Lorenz. I held up my end of the deal that I would show up every day. And believe me, we can talk about that another day, because there's times where it's kind of like, oh my gosh, do I need to do it today? It kind of seems like a lot with everything else, but showing up consistently as my own self-induced, self-assigned challenge, and then happy to do it as I show up each day. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Talk to you again soon. Have a beautiful day, and thanks for being here today.